One match day down, 37 to go. It's a long season, but at least it finally got underway. We didn't have to wait as long this year. It started. I think this is one of the earlier starts in the Serie A. Mid-August, starts a week earlier, I guess, because of the World Cup this year. And we got match day one recap here on the Calcio Guys. It's just Adreano and me, Nicholas, this week. Johnny's busy. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have a guest. He had to cancel last second. That's okay. We'll have more guests throughout the season. But Adri, how's it going?
Good, man. Good. I mean, listen, guest, no guest, Johnny, no Johnny, we move, right? The podcast goes on. So again, it's unfortunate. Johnny's still with us in spirit. He sent in his thoughts through video clips, through audio clips. I'm sorry, earlier today. So he's still part of the episode. So we love him for that. But yeah, man, good to be back a bit more regularly now. We took a bit of a break, obviously, during the summer, and Serie A is back, and Calcio Guys is back, and I'm excited because if every week is going to be this type of week that we saw in Serie A, we're in for an interesting campionato. So yeah, just super excited, man.
So we do have a lot to talk about. We'll pretty much go through all the games. So it's a good thing if you're a fan of a team that we don't talk about as much. But just wanted to ask you, Adri, did you get to watch a lot of this opening weekend? Did you take work off to watch all these games? What did you do? Did you watch 10 games in a row?
You know what? So I was able to catch not all the games, guys. Listen, it's everybody has a busy schedule, right? Still the summer's. Listen, I know summer's almost over, but for me, it's still here. So and gotta enjoy it while it lasts, especially here in Montreal. Yeah, I caught majority of the games, not all of them. Obviously, the Milan game was a must for me, and I think after this weekend, we can all smile. All four of our teams won this weekend, picked up the 3 points. So, but besides our team, like I was telling you off air, Nick, I mean, it was an interesting and just an exciting kickoff to the season. Take our teams out of the equation, and there was action across the board. If it's debut goals, red cards. I mean. New faces, old faces. It was just an action-packed weekend in Serie A to kick off the season. Cooling break, right? We don't see that too often, right? It's the peak of the summer in Italy. It's hot. They're in that Ferragosto type of mentality and mood. But yeah, it was an action-packed weekend, like I said, and yeah, I got to see a decent amount. And if it continues like this, we're in for a good treat this season, and hopefully the podcast can benefit off of that as well.
Mention debut goals. I'll ask you. I'll get a quiz question, and we don't do this too often. I'll get a quiz question. I'll prepare you for later in the episode. I'll ask you on the topic of debut goals. Yes. But you got, as Milan fan, as Milan's reigning champions, they got to play first. They weren't playing. They weren't the only team playing at the 12:30 slot on Saturday. But I mean, bit of a rocky start to that game against Udinese. Rodrigo Becao, 5 total goals in Serie A. 3 of them have come against Milan. All week, people are talking about Becao scoring against Milan, making the memes, this and that, and he does it. And you could tell the commentator. I don't know who the commentator was for that game. He knew right away. It's like Becao again, Becao again. And I'm watching. I was kind of like not watching. And when you're not like fully paying attention, all I hear is like Becao scored. I'm like, of course he did. 1-0. And then everyone on Twitter is like, oh, I guess Milan's getting relegated this year. Udinese is winning the Scudetto. Becao's winning the Capocannoniere, but not so fast. But what did you think of that game?
Yeah, man, listen, like you said, rocky start. It was kind of like a here we go type of moment. 1 minute in, guys. It didn't even take 1 minute. Becao, opening goal of this campionato. Like Nick mentioned, the stat, he always finds a goal against Milan. If it comes off the set piece or other ways, he seems to find the back of the net against Milan. I don't know how, but it's always him. But yeah, you know what? Listen, this is and this goes across the board, right? This is the first game of the season, and it's your expectations have to be realistic. Yes, Milan comes off a Scudetto winning season last season. Some changes in the squad, but the majority of the core of last year is still there, and you kind of need your big players to continue to perform. I would say we saw that for the most part, barring some guys who definitely could have upped their game a bit. I'm pointing to Leao a bit there, but again, it's no knock to him. He was, the league MVP last season, and he had his moments, but he's not. I don't know. I don't think he was totally there. But again, we had other guys contribute. We had, a comeback mentality, and for me, the bounce back that was the biggest thing. You go down. You're the Scudetto winning champions last season. You're one of the first matches of the opening match day, and you get scored on within 1 minute. So again, the mentality was there against a tricky Udinese team we've seen last season and in seasons past. But yeah, I think it was the collective once again for Milan. Obviously, everybody's gonna point to Rebic getting the brace. Brahim Diaz starting off the season positively once again, with the goal and his assist. Theo from the penalty spot, burying it. So the 2 goals that were conceded were definitely, pretty terrible if you ask me. I mean, we had two instances where I would say barely marked players inside the box, inside the area. They beat Magna, which was unfortunate. But again, when you have Rebic and Leao on the first one trying to mark, or on the second one, sorry, and on the first one, Messias, who was in complete la-la land inside the area. I mean, listen, if you're gonna mark like that, it's not a good look. But again, the bounce back, like I said earlier, was what counted. We didn't see Tonali, obviously, with his late injury in preseason. Should be back this weekend. Krunic stepped up. Benacer, huge game. I think he was fantastic in the middle of the park. We see the highlights, we see the compilations. Just his play as a whole, huge. The defense, huge. Kalulu, I think, was a standout. Tomori obviously getting his contract extension. Sometimes he got caught out a bit out of place there, but Kalulu was able to recover. And then, guys, going forward, I think it was positive as well. I mean, we saw Rebic obviously get the nod over Giroud, but yeah, it paid off for Pioli. So for that, you can't knock him too much. We saw the debuts of 2 new acquisitions in Origi and De Ketelaere. I can't complain, guys. It was a positive result, a 4-2 to open the season. It's not going to get any easier, but again, it's one game at a time. And I'm excited to see how this team continues to perform week in and week out, with players coming back from injury, with players getting a bit more accustomed to the system. And listen, like I said, can't complain very much. And Calabria too, stepping up as well. Capitano putting in some good balls, got the assist on the Rebic goal as well. The collective, like it was last season, the collective, I think opened this season strong once again.
And so you mentioned, so they were the first game. The other game that was happening was Samp, Atalanta. And I feel like Atalanta. We did our preview.
Yeah.
We aren't all high on Atalanta this year, including everyone in the Calcio community. But it's still Atalanta, right? This is a team that was playing in the Champions League last year. They go out pretty much typical Atalanta fashion, 2-0. Sam actually had quite a few chances. They had a goal called back, very controversial with VAR. They had a lot of chances. I think Quagliarella hit the post. But look, man scored. Scored his first goal in the Serie A. What a name. We're going to have so much fun with that.
And the celebration too, man. You have to love him, man. With the hands over the eyes, he's looking. Look, man. That was beautiful.
2-0 Samp. I mean, well, it's one game.
Atalanta over Samp.
Sorry, Atalanta. I mean, it's one game, but it like maybe they could already prove some doubters wrong. I mean, for me personally, it's like, okay, this is actually Samp of old, Atalanta of old. But Samp, they did look good. Based on highlights I saw, they did look good too. I think I predicted them to be relegated. Well, maybe not. I'm already changing my mind. No, I can't do that.
But no, listen, you said it right there. I mean, it could have been more, like you said earlier, and I think this is probably will spill into yellow card, red card later on. But you know that the VAR call on our boy Chicho Caputo's goal there, for me, it was soft, and it should have been called correctly. But again, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. It's for me, it's opening day. I mean, I know Samp is in a bit of last season they were in a bit of, near the bottom of the table. They're trying to obviously, put in a better campaign this year. Yeah, I don't know. Atalanta, for me, I'm still not convinced. Listen, guys, it's only week 1, match day 1. So I'm nowhere near convinced with Atalanta. If they continue to show and to prove, us wrong, maybe obviously opinions will change. But for me, yeah, the 2-0 is positive. The clean sheet is always a nice thing. Scoring, on your debut in a new league for Lokman is huge. Toloi obviously got on the score sheet first with his goal as well, Capitano there. So it's a positive start. I know Gasperini's, for me, is still kind of maybe behind closed doors he's not, but outside from looking in, like he's still on a hot seat of some sort. He has that bad rap going on right now, whereas seasons past he was on a pedestal a bit. So. Yeah, listen, guys, it's one game at a time, even with a team like Atalanta. I think Okoli, was the young defender. He got his debut, I believe, or his start, which is nice. And yeah, they're gonna have to take it from there. But it's not enough to convince me after one match day.
Speaking about coaches that are a bit on the hot seat, bad rap, Torino. Why am I blanking? Juric. I was about to say Jovic, but that's Fiorentina striker, Luka Jovic. Ivan Juric. There was all that news coming out about him arguing with the management. And they come out 2-1 win at Monza. Monza's first ever game in Serie A, which is pretty crazy to think about. I read that they played 40 seasons in Serie B, which is the most for any team to play in without playing a Serie A game. So this was their first ever game in Serie A. A lot of expectations, a lot of signings, and I wouldn't say disappointing, but you could tell like one team has experience, especially considering Torino, that goals from Miranchuk and Sanabria. These are Serie A players. They have Serie A experience, especially Miranchuk. And, the experience shows. So there's still a lot of time left, obviously, for Monza. And it's just a matter of gelling. So we'll see. But, I mean, their fans are happy that they're in. It'll be interesting to see when Monza plays Milan, the Berlusconi Galliani derby. But yeah, good to see Torino get off to a good start.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it on the head there. I mean, I wouldn't say disappointing too much from Monza. Like, I know they only got their first goal in the 93rd, 94th minute, whatever it was, late on in the game there. But listen, it's like you said, it's first time. It's getting accustomed. I don't think we saw all the new acquisitions on the pitch as well. So again, it's a work in progress. This is a promotion team that's done the most business. I think at least the most business in terms of what we see and what we know of, and players that we are Serie A players as well. I mean, the list goes on, right? We've said it in past episodes. Everybody listening definitely knows, the Cranios, the Pessinas, the Petanias now, Caprari, Sensi, other players of that nature, Ranocchia, right? So, I think it's obviously a work in progress, right, guys? I mean, many people with their hot takes and bold predictions. Yeah, Monza finishing top, going into Europe. Okay, guys, let's manage our expectations a bit with Monza there and take it one game at a time. But to flip the coin over to Torino, like you said, Nick, I think it's good for them to kind of that outside noise, kind of keep it outside and really focus on the pitch. And they got the 3 points, which was most important. A debut goal for Miranchuk with his new team. I think that was a huge acquisition from Atalanta because he's a player that cracked into that lineup, here and there at Atalanta. But I think I would think and I would assume that he's going to have a lot more space and a lot more playing time at Torino. He seemed to get started real quick with his new team, so that's always a positive. Sanabria's goal was like ridiculous with that half volley. He almost went flying into the net there, but he had a great game too, right? And this is, like you said, Nick, a Serie A experienced player. He's been in the league, handful of seasons now. So these players know what it takes. And like I said on our last episode, I think Juric, he's gonna they'll get over it and he'll kind of find a way. Again, very early. We're gonna say that throughout the episode. This is only match day 1, but. Juric is that type of manager that I think he can find a way with minimal at his disposal, but we'll see how the season plays out for Torino.
And finally, the other game on Saturday, the Inter coming back to beat Lecce. Last second goal, pretty much. Dumfries. This was a game I was watching. Obviously, I was hoping Lecce would pull off the draw, give Inter some doubt. And it's funny. I remember watching them play Lecce 3 years ago when Lukaku scored. I don't know if we were watching together. I think we were at. If I'm not mistaken, we were even watching at Basilico or something. Were we ever watching a game at Basilico? Maybe in my mind's. Maybe like that day we went to Basilico. I don't know, but it's funny. Lukaku scored in that game. He scores today. What was it? Less than 2 minutes in or something. And whatever. And Lecce comes back and scored debut goal from Asan Cisse for Lecce, and. At the end, it's Inter. I mean, they prevailed. There was a bit of controversy too, some physical play. But I think that's what you have to expect, right? When these teams like Lecce play against a top team like Inter, they're going to be physical. There's going to be some antics going both ways, going Lecce's way. And obviously it didn't work out for them. And, Inter has to be happy. A lot of people are saying they shouldn't have celebrated like they did by beating Lecce. I mean, a win is a win at the end of the day. Yeah, okay, we'll make fun of them for barely beating Lecce, but at the end of the day, it's 3 points. 3 points they're going to celebrate, especially it's the first game. But I doubt Inter. I doubt this happens again with Inter against a small team because they don't want to be in that position where they have to score a 94th minute goal. Yeah,
listen, and going just. Before I have my thoughts, I mean that whole celebration thing that you mentioned, guys. It's opening day. It's a 94th, 95th minute winner. I mean, I don't care who you are and what team you are. To hide those emotions, it's virtually impossible. So let them celebrate. I mean, I think every team would have celebrated the same way. So I don't see any problem with that. If it continues to happen, I don't think Inzaghi's going to have a voice and he's going to sweat through his camiscia, right? So let's keep that to a minimum, I guess. But back again, right? Lukaku, big Rom. He gets on the score sheet super early in this match, and I think if people were doubting him that he was going to get his goals, I mean that pretty much went out the window after the first few minutes in this game. He'll get his goals, guys. How many and how productive will he be? Week in and week out, again, remains to be seen, but his goals will come for sure. Darmian with the assist there. The fact that it had to come to what it did was a bit surprising. I mean, to see Lecce really come up and show up against Inter was definitely positive. But again, guys, those are these bottom of the table teams, promotion teams, whatever you want to label them as. These are the games they wake up for. These are the games, like, it's fine and dandy they pick up points against Monza or Spezia or whoever. But when they play the Juves, the Milans, the Inters, the Napolis, Romas, whatever, those are the games they wake up for. Those are the games where they're gonna cause the most problems. So a bit surprised and a bit not, I guess, for Lecce's performance. It's unfortunate, like you said, that they couldn't hold them to maybe a draw there, but it's the class and quality that Inter has, but on the touchline, on the pitch, off the pitch, on the bench, right? That they can have these players at their disposal to pull out these ugly wins, if you want to call it that, if you want to label it as that. Dumfries, player that comes in and scores an extremely late goal to secure the 3 points. And at the end of the day, guys, that's all that matters, right? The 3 points, no matter how it happens, right? The 3 points is what is needed. So Inter got it. Does this continue every week? I don't think so. But again, with all these big teams, I think it's really one game at a time, and they don't want to slip up early, because to catch up is going to be quite a tough task with how competitive I think this top of the table is going to be again this season. It's a big 3 points for Inter. They move, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Now that we're pretty much halfway through the games, I wanted to ask you, Adri. I've been bringing up debut goals. I want to see if you know this. How many players scored their first Serie A goal? And who were they?
First Serie A goal?
Jenny's not here to help you out. First Serie A goal.
First Serie A goal. Okay, so not the debut with a new team or whatever. Miranchuk doesn't count.
I think both applies. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. I meant first Serie A goals because Miranchuk debut goal with the new team, but not for Serie A. So debut goals basically in Serie A.
New in the league, you're saying?
Yeah.
Right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. How many? Okay, well, Jovic is one. Yeah. For Fiorentina. Who the fuck scored for? Jovic is one for sure.
Okay, I'll tell you. There's 6. So I'll make it easy. 6. I'll tell you 6. Let's see if you can name them.
What did you say? Was Cisse there for Lecce? Was that another one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 2. Inter, no. Those are the usual suspects. Atalanta, no. Torino, Atalanta, Lukman, sorry.
Look, man, you got that right.
We said it before. We said it before, right? With the Selly.
That's 3.
Milan, no. Udinese. No, Messina was already on the league, no? I don't think. Did he ever score, though?
He had scored. He had scored.
He had already scored. Okay, so that's...
I think it was his first goal with Udinese, but it wasn't his first Serie A goal.
Yeah, okay. So that's 3. There's 6. What the fuck else?
1 is easy. You should know this one. Actually, 2 are easy. You should know them. There's only 1.
I named okay. Cavara, right?
Yeah.
Put him to sleep. Cavara, right? Because I don't know how to Kvaratskhelia, whatever the fuck his last name is. Di Maria, I'm sorry, right? With the heart symbol, right? What am I at, 5?
Yeah, we're at 5.
And nobody else for Napoli. They scored how many goals? 10 goals did they score? No, nobody else there. Hellas, I don't think so. No. The last one, guys. I wish this was like a live, call in and phone a friend or something, because for the 5th one, guys, I don't. Roma, who was it? No, Brian Cristante. It must be from, was it Cremonese? Somebody from Cremonese? No. Recchi scored. Bianchetti? No. Porco Dios, I don't remember. I don't know.
You want me to tell you?
Who's the 6th one?
Danny Motta from Monza.
Danny Motta. Okay.
And that's a bit of a trick because, like, A, you wouldn't even know who he is. B, he's already scored. Almost 20 goals for Monza, all in the lower divisions. 2 in Serie C and 19 in Serie B. So this was his first Serie A game, first Serie A goal. So you had it there. So Lukman.
5 out of 6. Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Lukman, Motta, Cisse, Jovic, Kravashela, and Di Maria. Sorry if I didn't pronounce the name right.